Okay, now that the defendant is in, does defense, do you have everything you need to make your case before the courts today?
Yes, I do, but it would be remiss of me, my duty to my client, if I did not renew my motions, which were answered by a judge who didn't actually take this case. So I renew my motion to dismiss on the grounds of massive procedural errors, Your Honor.
I was gonna ask for some pretrial motions, but I guess I'll handle this one right now. We're gonna dismiss that motion to dismiss. We're gonna go ahead with this trial, but you are free to, appeal this verdict at a later date for those procedural errors if you so choose, Mr. Braun.
And we will.
I totally anticipate that.
I mean, if we don't win, my client is innocent.
Either way. Prosecution, I was going to give you the opportunity to, if you have everything to make your case as well. Are all your witnesses here? Evidence has been entered?
Yes, Your Honor. One of our witnesses is going to be a little late, but I'll start with the two that I got right now.
Okay, and who is that witness that's going to be late?
Mr. Grimmer, I believe.
Okay, he had some, I believe when I was scheduling the case, it was a little bit not perfect for him. Is it a scheduling issue? Is that why he's not going to be available?
No, it's not. It's nothing like that. He wasn't feeling too well, so he had to go take a nap, and he's going to try to make his way back here shortly.
All right, well, just let him know that if he doesn't, the court may find him with a failure to appear. This is a very serious case, and I'm not, I don't want to see witnesses not appearing and not giving notice on the docket if they're not going to be available.
It's nothing like that, Your Honor. I mean, he was here, he had to leave. He's going to come back.
Okay. That being said, do you have any pretrial motions before we kick this off?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, then once again, before I do this, I am going to take a couple moments just to address everyone here in the room. Can I please push to you guys the importance of this situation today? There is a man being charged with one of the largest drug trafficking charges and fines in the state at this time. Also, his business is excuse me, sir.
Sorry, brother, I tripped. Free the Biggz one.
Yo.
Free up the boy, man. Yeah.
Okay.
He did
So.
not have sexual relations with that lady.
So as I was about to say, please have respect for the situation that Mr. Biggz finds himself in. I know.
Oh, suck your grandmother, big man. Nice up. Nice, you big man. Let's get this thing going.
All right. So once again, please have respect for the courts. I'm going to start contempt of court at 100 months and $10,000, and this is your first and only warning. All right. Anything further with any jumps from the ceiling? I see there's some twerking going on back there. Do you want me just to go ahead and start off already there, sir, in the bandana? All right, whoever wants it, that gentleman there, first contempt of court, 100 months, 10 grand. Let's go.
All right.
The bandana there.
Hey, what?
You're getting 100 months, Ronnie, and 10K
What are
fine.
you talking about, bro?
Yes.
Working. Contempt for twerking, man. What the fuck?
That's what he said.
I just told this man to suck his mother.
Bro, he's
Logical,
working,
very
man.
logical, very logical.
All right. You're gonna be able to
He can, you can give him the time after the case. All right, he can stick around for the case. And I will let you know that any further contempts, I'm not adding on and multiplying by 3. All right, so your next instance is 300 months and $30,000. All right.
Who's doing that?
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry.
That's my girl, Shana.
Trapped gas.
She's in the gallery in the back. That's my girl. See? She a big rumper. She can't wait for me to get out and slide it back inside the DM thing. You see me?
All right. So once again, we're about to start here. Please have proper respect for the situation that Mr. Biggz finds himself in. Also, anyone, officers, lawyers who may have gotten in here with your cell phones, please a reminder just to put those to silent for the time being, all right? All right, that being said, that's all my preamble. We're going to bring this court into session at this time. And first, we're going to go through the statement of claim here. Mr. Thoreau, can you please present your statement of claim for the courts today?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The statement of claim or my opening?
your statement of claim, Mr. Thoreau.
On September 13th, the police were in the area of a suspicious activity dispatch call when a van was seen exiting the area at a quick pace and running a red light. When officers attempted to conduct a traffic stop on that van, it fled. The pursuit turned into a shootout when defendant Wayne Biggz ambushed police using a Class II weapon and his Sand King. And the driver of the van, Anthony Murphy, got out of the vehicle and fired a Class II at police. Police were able to subdue and apprehend both individuals and discovered over 800 grams of narcotics in the van. Raids were conducted on properties belonging to defendant Biggz, which yielded over 21,000 grams of narcotics. Based on police evidence and observations, as well as the overwhelming amount of physical evidence gathered, the prosecution accuses the defendants of the following charges.
Are you gonna go through those charges for the courts, Mr. Thoreau?
Sure thing. Defendant Biggz.
Hey, thanks for the follows, guys, but again, I'm not gonna interact here much, okay?
Employee ×2, criminal possession of a firearm, Class II, misdemeanor possession of controlled dangerous substance, oxymeth, ×2, and possession of a stolen property in the 3rd degree, ×1, and 1 count of drug trafficking.
All right, and what sort of sentencing are the people looking for in this case today?
Your Honor, the prosecution is recommending a sentence of 8 years of prison, 8 years of parole, $400,000 fine, seizure of the Green Beans property, and forfeiture of its business license.
Okay. Over to you, Counselor Braun. He has listed the charges. Do I need to go through those one by one, or are you going to be giving your the plea to all of them at one time?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, my client needed to bring something to my attention, so I didn't quite catch all of that.
Going through the charges, do I need to go through them one by one to get your client's plea, or is he going to enter a plea for all of them at one time?
I will allow him to enter a plea individually for each charge, as some of them he might be willing to plead guilty to.
All right, Mr. Biggz, I'm going to go through each charge one by one. You're going to tell me if you're going to plead guilty or not guilty to them. All right, sir? Mr. Biggz, are you ready?
Big man, I've been talking with my counsel, seeing yo, I'm not guilty to every blood clot charge, seeing me not guilty.
All right, so not guilty pleas have been recorded by the courts for all charges brought today.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, with that being said, we're going to move into opening statements at this time. Mr. Thoreau, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor and people of the court, what we have here today is a textbook drug trafficking case. Yep. Paying for the traffic stop to the flight of the original co-defendant, Mr. Anthony Murphy, to the ambush by defendant Biggz, to the raids that were conducted on his properties and the narcotics that were found in their possession. The evidence speaks for itself, Your Honor. The People's Bee specifically perfectly elucidates to a T every step of this arrest. And with the officer testimony that we're going to have...
What the fuck? What is going
Okay,
on?
what's going on here, guys?
Peanuts.
Oh shit!
Peanuts in this mother sucker.
It was false alarm, false alarm.
Fast alarm.
False alarm, okay.
Everything blessed.
What the fuck was that?
Jesus.
What kind of security do we got in here?
Okay.
All right, so once again, guys,
Holy fuck.
I'm not dying for that shit.
Bass, you want to keep an eye out in the gallery there for any further discussions?
Everybody that comes in here, Your Honor. Can I just do that?
Not without any a reasonable, the same search criteria would apply here, Bass, as normally.
Your Honor, I'm motioning for everyone to be searched after this bomb threat.
Officer,
Your
this
Honor, I
man
feel
thinks
very
it's Nazi
uncomfortable with
Germany.
this armed police.
Yes,
Yeah.
me as
Okay.
well.
So
This is for my safety.
look, you guys, I'm gonna ask for some respect for the situation we find ourselves in here. Okay, Mr. Biggz's business is under threat here. Okay, let's not drown ourselves in silly drama here. Okay, I'm sick of it, and I don't want any of it. All right, I'm here to see a real court case for real people here. Okay, now that being said, officers, you're not just going to willy-nilly search anyone because you feel threatened. However, you're going to stick around the gallery, you're going to listen to people. I'm giving you authority here to take people out as you see fit in terms of removing them from the courtroom if necessary, and let me know if there's any people that deserve any additional charges for contempt of court. Once again, 100 months, $10,000 is where we're starting, and I'm only multiplying it by 3 for every repeated offense. Okay, guys? I do not want to stand for any of this. This is a courtroom, not a freaking comic show, okay?
Yeah, you tell him, Tidus. Good man.
Mr. Murphy, do you want contempt as well?
I'm agreeing with you, bro.
What the fuck is that shit?
All right, seriously, wherever that's coming from, deal with it now.
Roy and
Perfect,
Aspen, from the top.
we're dealing with
the
it.
top.
Shit.
All right.
Your Honor, I believe they ran out of the courthouse.
All right. If it becomes necessary, we'll have an officer stationed at both doors, I guess. Like I said, I don't want this to become a gong show, guys. This is a very important case here, okay? Now, are we certain that that's under control? Can I let Special Prosecutor Thoreau continue? What's our status there, Bass? How are you looking?
I think people are using their phones to do some sound effects, to do some dumb bullshit, Your Honor. So I think we should take everybody's phones.
Can't they not?
How are they
doesn't the
bringing their
metal
phone?
detector-
Yeah,
They're bringing their phones in here, Your Honor. I'm not sure.
okay. Well, I think everyone needs a reminder that the metal detectors are probably that the gentlemen working there are probably taking your phone, so there shouldn't be any phone noises going on here. All right.
Cool.
So, Bass, I'm gonna want you to make sure either yourself or one of your other officers is around the gallery here and bring any of these.
The fuck? Yeah, I got rainy bullets taken off right now.
It's gonna be a long.
All right, whoever that was, if you guys get positive ID, that's another 100 months and 10 grand. All right. Okay. Thoreau,
Yeah.
please continue. Or start again if you so choose.
I'll just finish it up. Prosecution will, through officer testimony and examining the evidence presented, will show that beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant Biggz is guilty of the charges alleged against him. Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, my client, Mr. Biggz, is a legitimate businessman in the business of cannabis seeds. There is barely any evidence whatsoever of any sort of unlawful or improper drug trafficking in this case. In order for someone in the business of cannabis seeds to generate new strains, a byproduct of marijuana, is necessary. You have to grow and crossbreed strains in order to develop new seeds. And that is all that has happened here. And frankly, the dodgy cannabis legislation in this city is laughable. My client, Mr. Biggz, for being caught with some marijuana that I could buy legally down the pier, is being treated worse than a serial killer in this city. My client has done nothing wrong in growing a little dope and will be found innocent or exonerated on appeal. Take your best shot, prosecution.
All right, thank you, Counselor Braun, for that opening. We're gonna move into the prosecution's direct here. Mr. Thoreau, please call your first witness.
Yeah, the prosecution calls Officer Kaminsky to the stand.
Where do I sit? This side or the other side?
The other side, sir.
All right.
All right, Officer Kaminsky, can I get you to raise your right arm while I swear you in here? All right, do you swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? So help you Coyle.
I do.
All right, Mr. Thoreau, you can begin asking questions to this witness.
Officer Kaminsky, were you on duty on the evening of September 13th, 2021?
Yes.
And did you respond to calls of a vehicle pursuit involving a gray van?
Yes, I did.
So tell me exactly at what point did the vehicle pursuit turn into a gunfight?
Well, it was pretty much as soon as I attached to the pursuit, I saw the gunfire breaking out in front of me.
Okay. And were officers injured in this gunfight?
Yes. When I exited my vehicle, I could see Officer Willie Glory on the ground with gunshot wounds.
Okay. Now, were you able to subdue the suspects who were firing on police and detain them?
Yes, I was. I shot Anthony Murphy, who was relentlessly firing at Officer Silas Grimmer.
Okay. What kind of weapons were these two suspects utilizing?
Can't remember the exact model from my memory, but I believe it was automatic fire.
That would be an AK-47 extended clip. We'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Officer Kaminsky.
No problem.
Now, once the criminals were detained, the suspects were detained. Did officers on the scene perform searches of their persons and the gray van from the pursuit?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of evidence did you guys recover from that van?
I believe in the van there was multiple boxes of marijuana.
Okay. And the suspects, what kind of material evidence did you guys recover off of them?
Well, I searched Anthony Murphy. I believe I retrieved an automatic weapon as well as a very large bag of methamphetamine.
Understood. In Your Honor, at this point, I'd like to point out in the People's B, that's going to be specifically what he's references at the top under Anto Murphy possessions. And regarding the van, it's going to be packages found in trunk of van.
All right, that is noted. Speak up, please, Murphy. I can barely hear you.
I'd like to motion to strike Anto Murphy's possessions from the record in this case today, as he's already pled guilty to his charges and is not necessarily joined at the hip here.
I'm going to rule in favor of that. We don't need to hear anything about Mr. Murphy. Let's keep it just to Mr. Biggz, all right?
Understood.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Officer Kaminsky, now were drugs or weapons found on Mr. Biggz when he was searched?
I did not search him, but I believe that there were, yes.
Okay.
Objection, speculation.
This question was speculative, but he, Kaminsky, when there's I guess for all witnesses, if there's an objection on the table, please remain quiet until that is resolved. It was a speculative question, however, the witness did answer it, so I'm gonna let that stand. But again, thorough, keep it out of speculation. All right.
Understood, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Your Honor, with all due respect, the answer is what prompted the objection, not the question.
Just let me go through my notes here. Okay. So the question that in my notes here, I have the question asked was, were the drugs or weapons found on Biggz when searched? The answer is that I did not search him, but I believe so.
Right.
Yeah. So okay, I'll agree with you there. That is a bit of a speculative answer. Give me a firm answer either way, Kaminsky.
Yes, those were found on Mr. Biggz.
All right, continue, Thorough.
Thank you. Officer Kaminsky, after their detainment, did the Unified Police Department conduct raids on Mr. Biggz' property?
Yes.
Understood. And in the arrest report for Mr. Biggz, is the evidence that was recovered from those raids listed in the report of the People's B, Mr. Biggz' arrest report?
Yes.
Thank you. And Your Honor, the prosecution would like to note that is going to be the contents listed under warehouse raid contents, Wayne's apartment, and in the evidence at the very bottom, that is the evidence lockers.
The first one you mentioned, the raid contents, is that in this one as well, or was that in the
Yes.
other? Okay,
It's in
where
the
People's B is it?
Yep, it's going to be a bolded right after the narrative. There's going to be two bolded lines, one for.
Okay. Sorry, I
warehouse
see.
raid.
It's the contents listed and not a. I thought it was going to
Yep.
be a photographic evidence. Okay, I see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's both. Yeah, there's both. We have it listed out there, and then in the evidence, there's photographs of the evidence lockers.
All right, I see where this is in the evidence. Thorough. Please continue.
Thank you. All right. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right then, you can step down. Mr. Braun, do you have any questions for Cross on this witness?
Nothing, but I would like to mark him for recall.
All right.
Your Honor, I'd like to object to that. The defense counsel had plenty of time to list witnesses for direct, and they did not list any.
Do I get a rebuttal here?
I guess sure. Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't aware that I was not allowed to mark witnesses for recall. Usually you're allowed to, so I don't know what the prosecutor's talking about.
Yeah, so I'm not going to find an issue with him marking him for recall, though I will ask, how is the city doing? Do they need police resources out there, or is it okay at the moment?
Your Honor, that has nothing to do with the justice being sought by my client here today.
All I'm going
I
to
resent that implication.
You're
I can answer that, Your Honor.
Okay, 1 second. Counselor Braun, I'm just trying to assess if it's in the city's best safety issue that Kaminsky be given your redirect at this time instead of waiting until a future moment, okay? That's all I'm trying to do. Glory, you said you could answer the question.
Yeah, apparently there's a emergency backup request because there are shots fired with a certain gang on a construction site.
Oh no, big man, fuck.
Okay. I will say that I do not feel that probably Mr. Biggz.
Ah, sorry.
Okay. I'm not really certain that Mr. Biggz is one person to make the most difference there. I do see some other. I don't know if these are all corrections officers, but we do have some other units here. Presumably, if emergency requests are needed, they're being followed. Mr. Kaminsky, you are to step down right now, but you have been marked for recall, so I need you to stick around the courtroom, okay?
Your Honor, I'm happy to recall this witness now. I just have a few questions that aren't related to the current line to ask him. So if doing that now is better for the court and for the city, then I'm happy to do that.
It doesn't seem like the city needs him at this moment, so we'll stick with the normal procedure. That's what I was asking my questions for in the first place, though, Mr. Braun.
How many more officers are there?
For a moment.
There's just 2 more.
Sorry, what was that?
I won't recall him. I'll recall one of the other 2. It's fine.
Okay,
Just let him go.
brief recess while I chat with Officer Hall here. Please stick around.
We caught the guy that was making the noise in the courthouse. What would you like?
100
for
months,
his
10
content
grand.
request? All right, perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. All right, back into session here. Sorry about that. Okay, back into session, everyone. Apologize for that interruption. Have everyone come back here. All right, Thoreau, gonna be your next witness, sir.
Sorry,
He's not
sorry,
paying
Your Honor.
attention.
Next witness, Thoreau.
The people call Officer Grimmer to the stand. Hey, Officer Grimmer, you're up.
Yep, let's go. Excuse me, Willie.
Woo, Silas, let's go.
Pardon me. Okay.
Guys, I can hear literally everything you're saying. I'm trying. I'm just letting you know. All right. I'm
Stop
just letting
eavesdropping.
you know. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not.
you guys know as well as I do that sometimes the distances in this courtroom can be a little short, so just kind of, okay.
I'm trying.
All right. Proceed with your questioning here, please, Thoreau.
Okay, Your Honor.
I would, Your Honor. But I don't think the witness.
Apologies. Yeah. Thank you for your reminder. I did forget that bit of procedural. Yeah. Grimmer, please raise your right arm. Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalties of perjury? So help you, DW.
Of course I do.
All right. Thank you for the reminder, Thoreau, and please begin your questioning of this witness.
All right. Officer Grimmer, were you involved in the incident that was previously discussed in Officer Kaminsky's testimony?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And were you partnered up or on duty with any patrolling with any other officers during that?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Which officer was that?
Officer Willie Glory.
Okay. And tell me about the start of the incident. What were you guys doing in that area when you first saw the gray van run the red light?
Right, okay, so me and Willie, we're operating under the BTF, the Burglary Task Force, okay? We're a new unit in the police department, but we're making waves already as we speak. All right, there was a 37 call. Oh, sorry, a suspicious activity call, you see. 37s is the 10 code for suspicious activity. So, you know, if you're not a cop, you don't know. It's suspicious activity, all right? All right, where was I? Okay, so there I was. We got a 1037, which is a suspicious activity call. It's up in Galileo Observatory, near that. Like a genius, I go. I bet they're gonna. Oh! What was that?
That was some peanuts, big man. Continue. It's
Alright.
just peanuts. That's all.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
just
just
a,
some
just a
peanuts.
brief.
Just some peanuts, big man. Just
Yeah,
full of
just continue.
peanuts.
Continue.
Right, so
Willie,
like
you
a
got a spider.
genius, I'm thinking we set up south of where the 37 occurred. I thought they were gonna flee southbound, and boom, would you look at that? A gray color van going a little fast, ran a red light. Thought maybe this is our guy, so I pulled him over. He refused. We got ourselves in a car chase. What was the question again?
Well, I can ask another question to get the story going again.
Yeah.
So you after you saw this van run a red light and it failed to yield for you, and you chased it. What happened next?
We chased him.
Okay. And did the chase ever come to a stop?
Well, it was interrupted by an ambush.
An ambush. Oh.
Yeah.
Who ambushed you guys?
It was Wayne Biggz.
Okay. And how exactly did he ambush you?
We were coming up an intersection. He parked his Sand King on the section. He was next to it with a giant Class 2 weapon. Starts blasting my partner, Willie Glory. Willie, I wasn't sure he was going to make it. He went down like a sack of potatoes, okay? I don't think he even got a shot off. He just got fucked up instantly. Oh, pardon my language.
That's okay. That's okay, Officer Grimmer. And now, did you get struck by gunfire at all during that gunfight?
Oh,
This
yeah,
ambush?
I got hit in the shoulder. Nothing too severe.
Okay.
Nothing too serious.
Just understood. And after these suspects and the defendants shot down Officer Glory, were you able to subdue them?
Oh, absolutely. I got out of the car, took out my gun. At this point, I also saw Anto Murphy get out of the van. He assisted Wayne in the shootout, but they were no match for me and my ace skills. All right.
Fucking piece of shit.
It was,
Understood.
Yeah. It was, I don't want to brag on the stand here, but I was immaculate. My accuracy was a spectacle.
I'll see you later.
Understood, Officer Grimmer. Now, when after you subdued the suspects, were you did officers detain and search them?
Yes.
Did officers discover the Class 2 firearm along with narcotics on Mr. Bigg's person?
Yes.
Okay. And were you involved in the raid that the Unified Police Department conducted on Mr. Bigg's property?
I was.
Understood. Now, referencing the People's Bee, which lists out the contents of the raid of his warehouse and his apartment, as well as listing the images down in the evidence lockers, is that going to be everything? Cover everything that you guys found on those raids?
That's correct.
All right, Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right.
All right, Counselor Braun, do you have any cross-examination questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a question or two.
Okay, please proceed.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Sir, are you currently intoxicated?
No.
You sure about that? Look like you're having trouble standing up.
No, I'm good. I'm solid.
Your Honor, I would like to request a breathalyzer test for this witness. His reliability would be called into question should he be testifying while inebriated.
Go for it.
Your Honor, I would object to that. This man is showing no signs of intoxication whatsoever.
He is slurring his speech. He's struggling to stand of his own power.
I always slur my words.
I was gonna. So, if there's no firm evidence of any, alcoholic beverages being drinking beforehand, Mr. Braun, I'm going to allow this to continue. Grimmer here. I have seen him in court before. He does have
Give
a
me a
few
moment.
quirks in his personality, and I do not believe they show inebriation at this time.
The man is clearly drunk, but okay.
That's not like it's called swagger. Right, it's called swagger.
Your Honor, I believe he's been smoking
Barely
my
being
product
able to
from the
stand
rail.
is not
All right,
swagger.
Your Honor,
the opposite
I
of
believe he's this time he's only have a cigarette.
All right, that's good enough for me at this time. Counselor Braun, do you have any other further questions?
No, that was just the one question I had.
Okay.
Please don't mark it for recall. Please don't
Are
mark it for
you
recall,
looking to
please.
mark this witness for recall?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, thank
All
God.
right. I guess
that cigarette's laced with weed.
actually, Officer Thoreau, did you have any redirect based off of that cross?
No, I do not.
All right, then, Mr. Grimmer, you are free to step down, and since you are not marked for recall, you are free to go about your business or return to the patrol.
Hey, thanks, Your Honor. Good work, everyone.
Okay.
Go to work drunk.
All right, Thoreau, your next
Let's get the hell
witness,
outta here.
please.
Yes, Your Honor. Prosecution would like to call Officer Willie Glory to the stand.
All right, Mr. Glory, please proceed to the stand. All right, Mr. Glory, can I get you to raise your arm, please? All right, do you swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? So help you wayward.
I do.
All right. Now the witness has been sworn in. You're free to proceed, Mr. Thoreau.
All right. Officer Glory, so from the previous witness's testimony, you were patrolling with Officer Grimmer, responding to a 1037. Now, did you witness the van commit the traffic violation of running a...
Yes.
Okay. And did you attempt to pull over that vehicle for that traffic violation?
Yes.
Did the vehicle yield to you?
No.
And did you pursue that vehicle?
Yes.
Were you ambushed while you were pursuing this vehicle by the defendant, Mr. Biggz?
Yes, we
Objection leading.
I'm gonna go ahead and sustain that objection. You can re-ask that if you like, Thoreau.
Did the chase stop at any point?
Yes, it did.
And what happened when the chase stopped?
We were ambushed.
Okay. And who were you ambushed by?
Mr. Wayne Biggz.
Understood. And did the defendant use some kind of weapon to ambush you guys?
Yes, he used a Class 2 firearm.
Understood. And were you shot during this ambush?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And just to be clear, you got shot down by Mr. Biggz here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Understood. And so after the shooting, after the suspects were detained, obviously you were busy getting medical treatment. But afterwards, were you involved in the raiding of the warehouse and apartment belonging to Mr. Biggz?
Yes, I was involved. Yes.
Okay. And tell me, what kind of evidence were you able to obtain from those properties?
A massive amount of marijuana. Over, I believe, 20,000 grams of it.
Okay. Were there any items used for sales or trafficking of drugs?
Yes.
Okay. Like what?
can't recall exactly, but it was all in evidence.
Understood. Give me one moment, Your Honor. All right, Your Honor. Prosecution has no further questions for this witness.
All right, Mr. Braun, would you like to cross-examine this witness?
Actually, no. I will mark this one for recall, though, if that's the last one.
I believe that is the last of the officers, correct, Mr. Thoreau?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glory, you've been marked for recall. You can step down at this time, but you are not free to leave the courtroom until you've been recalled.
If that's the last of his witnesses, I'll just call him first so he can get out of here.
Mr. Thoreau, do you have any further witnesses after this?
No, but I do need to go over some evidence.
Okay, so Mr. Glory, you stay there.
Most of that to my closing.
Yeah, you stay there, and then Mr. Thoreau, why don't you highlight what you need in your evidence right now, and then we'll proceed to the recall, and Mr. Braun can begin.
Actually, Your Honor, I'm just gonna save it for my closing. So.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Braun, do you want to begin, or do we want to maybe the courts need a break for a few moments for people to, or how do you guys feel?
A 5-minute recess would be good.
All right, let's do 5 minutes then. We will return at 4:48. Or sorry, 48 past the hour. Sorry. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I gotta piss.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
DOJ staff, I'd like to address you if that's possible.
You need any food or anything, Mr. Wayne?
Is this fine? Is this fine? Hello, you hear me? Hey,
All right. If we're at a bit of a break, I can pop back in here, say hello. Hope chat's. Oh, look at this. A couple hearts here. Thank you guys for the love there. Thank you all for the follows. Anyone who's still here. Looks like Sydney, King Bob, Luka Jukic, Android Lovely, and Starly. Thank you for the follow, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for the love here, guys. Sorry I'm not interacting with you too much in the trial. I'm sure you understand why. But thank you for showing up and hanging out. Hello, Yo-Yo and Keegan and Chi-Chi Bun. Welcome to the stream.
The man say me have like a verbal agreement. A verbal agreement? What the fuck is a verbal agreement in court? All of you went to law school how many years, huh? A verbal agreement in court's like a slap in the face, alright? Look, my point to you motherfuckers is every
I hate getting back into this.
last milligram of marijuana in my warehouse was legit. By law. I have a license for have that.
So how you guys doing? Are you enjoying this so far?
When I sell weed, it's just grow.
Hopefully, I didn't want to come down too hard on those guys at the beginning, but I didn't want this court case to turn into a circus and a gong show. And I knew someone was going to test me early, and hey, you have to do what you have to do, right? So,
just know that there's no legislation.
They might have thought it was a little rough, and I can understand that, but
it's only one.
You know, I kind of felt they were gonna push it, so it is what it is, though. I was pretty quick contempt, though. Idmus, if you're still sticking around, I know sometimes you're just watching in the background. Yeah, I know, and like I don't want to totally shut down the SBS, but it is a courtroom and it is a very serious situation, so I didn't want it to get to turn it to too much of a circus. And I knew also, like, I didn't want them to. I know it sounds kind of shitty, but I didn't want to be the new judge that got bullied by it either. So I know he does, Quentin. I know he does. And I usually roll with it pretty well. You know, because usually he gets me outside the courtroom, but this one's my house. I gotta hold it down. No, just kidding. But no, I just wanted to make sure that it was. I didn't want too much of a circus environment for this case. Other cases, I'm willing to let that happen for, not this one. Like, this was for like $400,000, and the guy loses his business. Like, I'm taking this very seriously, as I hope. And I hope people can respect that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Those guys are great. It's just, you know, had to put the foot down. Hopefully they understand why.
What's up, my guy?
Roll it the fuck down, big man. Play around, no play a thing, you know. But the roughest, toughest, rudest, bumper clad Jamaica doing it in your jet to Jamaica. You understand me, dude?
I got you. Alright. You almost a free man, bro. You
You
almost
know,
a free
big
man.
man, look, I've been smoking herb in like fucking 10 years, big man. I've been in jail like 10 years.
I could see. They normally say black don't crack, but it's definitely cracking up a little bit there. I got you.
Yo, what? Yo, I'm starting to feel, big man, need some herb. You guys got to give me.
No, I can't.
Just a little bit. I need just a little bit of herb, please.
Wait, I can't go in there, bro. I can't. I gotta. I get you some on the outside when you're a free man. I.
Yeah, I hear you. Holy fucking names in our war, please.
I do.
Candy Lee was the chick. Candy Lee was the non-pro. She wasn't the pro. She was the one that she was a gang. It was like 5 years. I was 18. Never been to a wrestling match.
So Jenny, just to clarify, when you found that, was it Randy?
It was either I think it's Rami that we have in custody.
Okay, so it was just Rami then. Okay.
Wait, Candy Lee's from AEW. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry.
Oh, she's not. No, she's not. She is a midwife now. Oh, that's not true.
Well, it's a different Candy Lee, but there's a Candy Lee in AEW.
Might be her. She's a midwife now. I don't know what she does in her spare time. Okay, well, it may be her then. I don't know what she does anymore. Just know that she is a midwife. I went to university. She went to university with me.
All right. Anyone know where Thoreau is? Where's Thoreau here?
You want to hear the best part? Wait, hey, don't be so short-tempered with me, you asshole.
All right, guys, back to being in here. I'll chat with you in another moment when it's available. Thanks again for hanging out. Appreciate that. Hey, anyone know where Thoreau is? I want to get the spec started.
I'll find him.
Judge, with all due respect, we 2 minutes past due. I feel like this defense attorney or whatever the fuck his name is disrespecting this courtroom and these proceedings.
Well, if he doesn't show up pretty quickly, Mr. Biggz, I may agree with you here.
Or he may have been kidnapped. Can you calm down for a second, Judge?
I think some contempt of court may be in order, big man.
Was he seriously?
Your Honor, I think he kidnapped himself to get out of this this loss here today. I'm gonna motion to dismiss.
Honestly, need help with this one? I got you.
Let's confirm if he was indeed kidnapped or not. Oh, there he is. All right.
I'm good. Sorry. Apologies for the delay, folks.
Oh, fuck. I was really hoping he got kidnapped.
All right, we're gonna call this back into session here. All right, I believe it was we had Mr. Glory up here on the witness stand, and Mr. Braun was about to give his recall, or sorry, was about to give him his direct for his defense's questioning here. So, Mr. Glory, can I have you reapproach the stand? You've already been sworn in by the courts.
Your Honor, this is a recalled witness, just to clarify.
Yes, correct. All right, Braun, you can begin whenever you're ready.
Okay, I just have a couple of quick questions for you. In regards to the investigation against the defendant, Mr. Biggz, was there any discussion throughout the course of the situation about the defendant's legal status as a business owner of Green Beans?
Can you repeat the question?
During the course of the investigation against the defendant, Mr. Biggz, was there any discussion in regards to the status of his business, Green Beans?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about that discussion?
No.
No. Why not?
Well, you're asking if there was discussion in between the Unified Police Department, like, with everybody involved, or just me specifically?
Well, you already said yes, there was a discussion, so you're at least aware of it.
I remember it was being discussed among everyone involved, yeah.
Were you present for this discussion?
Yeah, but I can't recall exactly what was said, and I don't want to lie on the stand, so.
How convenient. Okay, I got nothing further for this witness.
Okay, Mr. Thoreau, do you have any cross for this? Mr. Thoreau?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Glory, you can step on down. Since you've now been called on both sides, you are free to leave the courtroom if needed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll stick around.
All right. All right, Mr. Braun, your next witness?
Your Honor, the defense wishes to call the defendant, Mr. Wayne Biggz, to the stand.
All right, Mr. Biggz, please approach. Now, by giving your testimony, do you understand that you'll be waiving your Fifth Amendment right?
Yes, sir. I'm aware of that. I know the Constitution of America thing, and I'm gonna read that before I come get my citizenship, big man.
All right. Can I get you to raise your arm then while I swear you in? All right. Do you swear and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalties of perjury? So help you airborne.
Yes, sir.
All right. Witness has been sworn in. You're free to proceed, Mr. Braun.
Mr. Biggz, are you a business owner?
Yes, sir, I am.
What is the name of your business?
Green Beans Seed Company.
Do you have a business license, or
Yes,
had
I
you
do.
before these proceedings?
Yes, Mr. Murphy.
Who gave you that business license?
The state of Los Santos.
Was there a specific person?
I believe it was Judge. I can't remember his name. A couple of the judges actually, like 3 of them were conversing on it.
Okay. And when you were given the business license for Green Beans, were any provisions or guidelines explained to you about this business?
Just tell me that I told him I was going to only sell seeds, which I did. Never sold any joints at any farmer's market or any Dean's World location. None of them things, but never sell no joint of marijuana, not 1 gram of marijuana. Only reason me grow marijuana is to find the different seeds, the different strains on seeds. So when we sell seeds to the public, we could tell them, you know, how to do it, give them some pointers.
Okay, Mr. Biggz, that's great, but in terms of any requirements for the business, were those explained to you by these judges when you were given the business license?
Let me explain anything to me. Nah, big man, them say I get a full license for grow 30 plants in my farm. And I get the legislation for marijuana, Mr. Murphy. I was blessed, good to go.
Since you received your business license, have you been convicted of any felonies before today?
I believe so, but nothing drug related, Mr. Murphy.
At any point in time, since you started your business, has your business been given any strikes?
Yes, Mr. Murphy, I believe we have one strike from Mr. Andrews, from one Brad Chody, who was working with my company, who allegedly got caught selling marijuana out the back of his trunk, in which terms I have fired him for 1 month, 30 days, which is on record, which is available to the public, available to the government anytime they want it. But fire him for 30 days. After that, I hire him back on board because he's really good at marijuana and know what he can do. But yes, Mr. Murphy, I had one strike before.
Okay. Just for the record, it requires 3 strikes for the license to be revoked under the general terms his business is to adhere to.
Objection, Your Honor.
It's a matter of public record, Your Honor.
First, I'll hear out the objection. What's your objection?
The strike system that they're talking about, I believe, applies to dispensaries. Green Beans is not a dispensary.
Your Honor, I believe the prosecutor is testifying with that statement.
Yeah, I can understand where you're attempting to go with that, Mr. Thoreau. I believe that is evidence that should be provided to the court. I am going to agree with Murphy on that one. What was the original objection? Because this came secondary here again here.
Just to that, I was just objecting about talking about the strike system because I believe that was applying to dispensaries.
Okay, so it hasn't been entered really into the evidence what the exact nature of this business is in terms of if it's a dispensary or not. However, I do believe that Mr. Braun is just going through the legislation that governs them. So I'm going to allow him to proceed, and we will see if there's any other evidence. Or sorry, we're going to allow him to proceed. Okay.
And to be clear, Your Honor, this hasn't been brought into evidence, so I'm asking my client specifically, since he is the business owner, what kind of requirements he was told to adhere to. So I'm just as curious as you are.
Absolutely.
Mr. Biggz, when you were authorized to open this business, was it was it ever expressed to you by
Murphy,
the judges?
Sorry, before you continue, there was a question that we left hanging here about the 3 strikes for the license to be revoked. So I'm gonna have Wayne finish that question first before you continue.
Sure, of course.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Well, you already answered that you had 1 strike, so Your Honor, could you just look in your notes and
so
repeat my
the question Braun asked was if it requires 3 strikes for the license to be revoked.
Yes, sir. I own a seed dispensary, and after 3 strikes, Mr. Dante and Mr. Bass told me that they will shut down my business.
Mr. Biggz, did either the judges who gave you your business license, or since you mentioned them, the officers who told you about the strikes, did they ever express to you that should you be convicted of any crimes, your entire inventory would immediately become illegal?
No, sir.
So any inventory you might have under the dispensary guidelines you were given would still be considered legal. Is that your understanding, Mr. Biggz?
Correct. And in the legislation, there's no limit on how much herb you can have in your stash.
Very well. I think you've answered all my questions today, Mr. Biggz. I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Thoreau, do you have any cross-examination questions for this witness?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Big. Is your business a marijuana dispensary?
It's a marijuana seed dispensary, big man.
So it's not a marijuana dispensary.
It's under the same legislation as the other one. Big man. How many legislations are there in the city? I believe there's one legislation for marijuana. I may have a license for that.
So if you're under the legislation for marijuana dispensaries, then you are a marijuana dispensary. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm a seed dispensary, but we have the same license and the same rights as all the other dispensaries in the city.
Okay, and so you said in your testimony that you the marijuana that was found in your warehouse was not. There's no intention for that to be sold or distributed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Your
why-
Honor, misstatement of testimony. I don't know that he said anything like that.
Let me just look at my notes here. I don't have any notes of any questions under direct here that refer to the inventory of the warehouse.
I certainly didn't ask him about his intentions, so.
Well, Your Honor, in one of his questions responses, he mentioned that he for the purposes of crossbreeding to make new strains is why he had that marijuana. And so I'm just clarifying that his intention was to sell or distribute that bud.
Okay, so rephrase your question to reference that, because I do agree with Murphy. It was getting a little close to misstatement of the evidence then.
Okay. So you had mentioned in your testimony that the reason for having so much marijuana is because for the purposes of breeding new strains. Is that correct?
Correct. The only reason we grow female strain is to figure out the formulas. Which type of fertilizer, which type of water, how many fertilizer. It's a very, very extremely tedious process, as someone in the gallery today can perfectly understand where we're coming from. Miss Sarah actually owns her own business as well. Marijuana business.
Okay. Give me one moment, Your Honor.
Thanks again for all the stuff, you guys. Again, sorry I can't do much interacting with you right now.
Okay, so with that in mind, did you have any intention on selling that bud?
No, sir. We smoked the marijuana.
Then tell me then, Mr. Biggz, how come there was several thousand grams of marijuana packaged in packages marked for police seizure, as well as packed buds found on that property?
Packages marked for police seizure. But now I know what you're talking about, big man.
Your Honor, I object to this line of questioning. I did not get into with the witness what was found on him on his arrest. We spoke about the business and the marijuana related to the business only.
If I may rebut, Your Honor.
Yeah, rebut.
The scope was opened on this line of questioning by the testimony of the defendant and some of my cross-examination and as well as the direct questioning. The marijuana that was at his business has been discussed in several questions and several answers. I am trying to, I'm just trying to inquire why, if he was not intending to sell any of this marijuana, why was it packaged in large packages, suspicious packages, and why he also found there were packed buds as well found on that property, if he did not intend to distribute those.
If I may rebut, the prosecutor is clearly trying to extend the scope of my original line of questioning.
I am going to agree with Mr. Braun on this one, Counselor Thoreau. There is no direct that really from Mr. Braun that really goes into this scope, and I do not believe that you have opened it appropriately enough to get there yet. So that question's stricken at this time.
Understood, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Got a couple more.
All right, Mr. Braun, go for it.
Mr. Biggz, you were asked several times, I think, you know, if you had intended to sell any of the marijuana on your property. Now, according to the terms of your business license, if you had wanted to sell that marijuana, would you have been legally allowed to do so?
Yes, Mr. Murphy, I would have been.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, Mr. Biggz, you're free to step down, head back to your desk there. Do you have any further witnesses, Mr. Braun?
Thank you, Your Honor.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Okay. Does either side or both sides prepared for closing, or do you need some time to prepare?
I could use some time, Your Honor.
Okay, I will give you 5 minutes, but exactly 5 minutes through. Don't push it to 10 minutes this time, all right? So, 5 after the hour, all right? Court's in recess.
Honestly, any more input from your hearing?
No, I think I'm good. Appreciate it, though. Yeah.
How's things going with you?
Been going pretty well. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Happy with, happier than you were before?
1000%.
Good. That's the important thing.
I don't need to worry about PD. It's nice.
Yeah.
It also took some time away.
Yeah. Honestly, you know, it sucks how it all went down. I felt kind of bad for you, honestly.
Look, I don't mind, you know? Just too much politics, I guess, between us. Because I took cases where I got shit on, so fuck it, whatever. To be honest, I should have left most of those cases for senior judges, but yeah.
I don't know. It's this weird, and I'm still feeling it too. You know, there's this weird crawl before you can walk mentality. But then when you're not running, they're like, "Why aren't you running? I told you to crawl." And it's so it's a little. Well, sorry. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. The expectation seems to be that we're already running, but at the same time we're told to crawl. So it's like it's this kind of catch-22 of like, when's the right time to do, like, honestly it was weird for this, like, you know how things go. I was like Thomas, like, are you okay with me, you know? And she's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay. So I started taking some, and then all of a sudden people were like, why don't you take this one? And it's like, oh yeah, I thought I was supposed to start small, but never mind, we'll just take the biggest drug trafficking case right off the bat. That's fine. That's fine.
I got thrown this one as well. That's the shit thing, is the biggest drug trafficking one for one of my first
thanks for the follow there, Pot.
First cases, really. And I'm just like, really, like, no one was here to support, no one was here to help or make any judgment. So when I made a judgment, everyone complained, you know? Oh
yeah, no. I fully expect no matter what judgment I render here, it's gonna be complained about, and no matter what, Murphy's gonna appeal it. So.
Yeah, 1000%. Just getting notifications on fucking me, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing I wish I did.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's fine.
I woke up at times when there were no other judges to be like, oh yeah, I'll take a case real quick.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. I mean, hey, honestly, I felt a little bit bad because I know that, like, I know you took, like, basically no time as a lawyer, and I think it really does kind of harden you up to a lot of sort of the criticisms as well as just the processes, right? And not that you needed it, but probably would have helped a little bit anyway. I don't know.
1000%. Look, if I really wanted to, I can get my bar again and go from the whole spiel, but
yeah,
I just have no interest in it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
I did it because literally it was like, fucking go for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, PD is going to complain. Unfortunately, with the bail hearing, what exactly happened was he didn't submit anything to evidence. Evidence, I'm like, it's not in evidence. It's not in evidence. It's not in evidence. And when I ruled the way I ruled with them going on hearing, they complained, and then when their own special prosecutor was like, okay, well, it's either 120 grand or then 20% of their net worth. When Biggz had enough money to be 120 grand, Anto didn't. So I went off their own special prosecutor's opinion or request. They still complained. Which is a funny part. That's what blew my mind. I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this whole case, I'll be honest with you, is a shit show.
Oh yeah, and it's not gonna end today either. It's gonna be appealed no matter what I rule. So, you know, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely within, like, I don't feel bad about anything because I wasn't really, like, I know I kind of messed up a little bit with the scheduling, like on that very first bail hearing, but I know that nothing of that appeal is really about me, you know? It's all about some of the other stuff that occurred, and that's fine. It's totally well within their right. So, thanks for the follow there, Banjo.
What's this one for? What's this hearing for? I haven't been up to date on burial, so I have no clue.
Sorry, what was that? What's this hearing on?
Yeah, what's this hearing on?
This is that same case. It's just now the final verdict, right? The same case that you heard the bail conditions on that kind of preempted your leaving. It's the same case.
Yep.
So if you look at that docket, so there was you coming and going, and then there was some more stuff, and no one really picked it up, and then Crane kind of stepped in like a little bit through and did it, right? And then but then he left too. Like he appeared, he made some rulings and then left. And it was just, I don't know. I'm not really sure why the docket went the way it did. And what Murphy's going to appeal is less about anything other than judicial procedure. And he's well within his right to do so. I can't disagree with him on it. I mean, I only kind of came in, picked it up, and ran with it. So, you know, I can't disagree with that. But
well, yeah, this was meant to be Alan's full case from top to bottom. And then he's like, hey, can you do the bail hearing? And then I'll do this, and that. I was like,
yeah, I don't know.
There
Anyway,
was no consistency from the
I'm going to call this back in here. All right, Thoreau. All right, I'm going to call this back into session. This case at this time. Given both sides 5 minutes to prepare for closing arguments. So we'll hear those at this time. Mr. Thoreau, you're first.
Your Honor and people of the court, as to the probable cause to detain and search the defendant, Mr. Biggz, The defendant ambushed Officers Glory and Grimmer per their testimony. The evidence in the People's B also shows the weapons that were recovered from them and the fact that he tested positive for GSR, substantiating the charges of attempted murder of a government employee ×2. Upon searching Mr. Biggz, besides the weapon, he was also found to be in possession of 2 grams of methamphetamine, 100 milligrams of oxycodone, and a phone dongle, providing sufficient evidence for the charges of criminal possession of a firearm class 2, misdemeanor possession of controlled dangerous substance oxymeth, and possession of stolen property in the 3rd degree. Now, the defense claims that green beans is subject to the same laws and legislations as marijuana dispensaries. However, the defense has submitted no evidence to substantiate that claim. Mr. Biggz, in his testimony, stated that the bud found in the warehouse was simply a byproduct of his seed production. However, in the raid of that warehouse, there was 11 200-gram packages of marijuana that were marked for police seizure, and there was grams of packed buds. Now, why would somebody who only has marijuana as a byproduct of making new strains, producing seeds, go so far as to package that marijuana for transportation? It is clear, with the evidence presented and the officer's testimony provided, that this man is guilty of drug trafficking, and we beseech that the state find him guilty of it. Thank you.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, throughout the course of these proceedings, there have been innumerable procedural errors and missteps, which I will refrain from bringing into the actual matter at hand and save for any potential appeal later. But let's get into the procedural problems with this actual arrest. Mr. Biggz is a properly licensed business owner, and his business Green Beans does fall under the dispensary guidelines. There is no seed
Objection,
business
Your Honor.
guidelines.
Facts not in evidence.
This is reflected by the testimony of the defendant himself, who would be in a position to know about his own business.
I'm gonna let the defense continue his close through. It's referenced in the evidence that's already been provided that there is a bit of uncertainty, and that the courts will consider that during deliberations. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Please continue.
So anyway, my client, Mr. Biggz, runs a business selling seeds of different cannabis strains to the different dispensaries that are also legally licensed to sell marijuana in this city. Without getting too deep into the flawed nature of cannabis legalization and legislation in this city, I will say simply that that the people in this matter did not do their job diligently in regards to this this matter. My client has received, according to his testimony, 1 strike against his business in the entire course of its existence, although he has, by his own admission, been convicted of other felonious acts within that time. His business was not completely taken from him. It was simply suspended pending these proceedings, and by my client's own testimony, he still has a license to operate this business. There is nothing within the guidelines set forth by our wonderful judges that suggests that his entire legal inventory would become criminal should he be convicted of any crimes. And it has not in the course of time since it's been open. Only in this case was a raid conducted on this property, and all of these legal marijuana products were seized as evidence in this proceeding. Given the murky nature of the legislation surrounding this and other cannabis businesses in this city and the selective enforcement of the provisions my client was instructed to follow, you must acquit my client of drug trafficking, or at the very least, not charge him the fine of over $200,000 based on the contents of this warehouse. And furthermore, when my client is acquitted, he wants his weed back.
Yes, so I do.
It's like a mic drop I tried to do there.
All right. Thank you for both sides for your closing arguments. At this point, I will put this court into recess while I deliberate.
Your Honor, can I motion for just a quick sidebar before you head in?
We just concluded the proceedings.
What could have
This
possibly...
is more of a procedural thing. There's just a quick procedural thing. It'll be super quick.
I mean, I'll entertain it, but it better be good, thorough. Please approach Braun as well.
Yep.
What's up?
All right. It's very minor. I mean, you mentioned $200,000, but I would just like to note that there was a motion to amend the sentence.
I saw it. It is $400,000. It was accepted by previous judges. Yes. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that was noted. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Completely unnecessary. All right. With that being said, I am putting this court into recess. Do not expect a very quick verdict. This is a very serious matter. I have a lot of evidence to go through and a lot of stuff to weigh. So please wait around, but don't expect a verdict in the next couple minutes. I'm going to take some time on this one. All right? Court's adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In recess. Okay, guys, this is the part where I try to figure out everything now that it's been given to me. You'll probably hear me think of some stuff out loud. I know probably a lot of you are probably interested in what's going to happen. Please don't take this to any other streams. And I'm going to probably try not to tell you my exact verdict, but it might become obvious as I go through things. First of all, the very first thing I want to do, because this never came up at all. Okay, let's just double check. I wish you would stick around. It's actually gonna let my dog out here. Okay. just. Is this going to be simpler than I thought it was? Is it really going to be as simple as this? Drug distribution or felony possession. 3 or more. I've got 1. What the hell? Oh. I know he's got 3, but these are misdemeanors, and it did specifically say felony. But let's leave that for now and think about some other stuff. That was only 1 prong anyway. We'll make a note of that. What was the exact charge there? Let's go back and grab that. 1 count of felony obstruction. I can't copy that at all. Shit. Oh, thank you for the follow. Okay. Proof or evidence that the suspect has manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's there. He is part of a, and he even said it himself. Suspect has sold, transferred, or distributed a conceded. Thank you for the follows, guys. I'm not going to interact much until the end. I'm sure the chat. You guys are probably chatting about it, but I'm just going through this stuff. I'm sure you guys understand why. Who may be summoned or subpoenaed in to appear in court. Okay. Okay, let's go through the evidence now, and just so that's not boring, I think I can probably do. Let's see here, I can pop that out, right? And can I hide this bar somehow? I can probably hide this, right? So you guys can see it as I go through it, maybe. Well, it's no big deal, I'm sure it's just fucking whatever. So, so we got the report here, we got, okay, so they had, so he certainly had packed and like proof of manufacturing. Okay. And Wayne was not originally on scene according to both the testimony I received as well as this, right? Let me just go back to that testimony we had. Grimer? Yeah, Wayne set up the ambush. So Wayne wasn't even involved in the original call. So... Okay. Okay. Now we need. I want to look at the other charges. I need to look at those too. Where was the rest of this case? Okay, I do need to. Hello? Hey. What's up?
Do me a favor. About a minute before you're done deliberating, give me a call because we're gonna have units outside start, getting around. Okay.
Okay, sure, I can do that. Okay. Next, I want to look at the rest of. Okay, so let's double check these charges here. So, class 2. I think Wade admitted to having the class 2 anyway. All right, yeah. I think he said an AK, not a Draco, but okay. Oh, actually, we need all this. Wayne's possessions. Meth. And Oxy. Okay, so that times 2. The dongle is stolen property. And then the attempted murder was the, okay. Wayne was GSR'd. And they did take him down and took him in, so he's positively identified there. Okay. Okay. Going back. Okay, let me go back on track here. I want to let me get something going here so that I have something a little bit more prepared. Okay, I'm gonna want to write a bunch of this out so I have it. Now, can I leave that? Come on, I want want you to stay up while I... Damn it. Interesting, interesting. All right, let me triple check his profile before I make this ruling. Oh, people will probably hate me for it, unfortunately, but I don't honestly know how they let it get this far with such shaky grounds, now that I'm looking at it. Because I didn't look before, so let me just double check it. So we have 3 misdemeanor, but that doesn't satisfy, right? It's got to be felony. Felony possession. So felony possession with intent, he's got 1. And that's it. Honestly, it's going to come down to that, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you're done.
Yeah, I'm done deliberating. So yeah, whenever you guys are I'll give it about a minute before I come out here, but go do what you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us about a minute and a half. Okay.
All
Bye.
right. All right. Hope you guys didn't get too much giveaway by my decisions there. There will always be haters. I do know that. It's part of what I'm prepared for as a judge. I hope, though, that more often than not, people can at least, even if they don't agree, they can understand where my ruling will come from. So, and I'm pretty sure most will. Thank you, everyone, making sure no one's hopping. I appreciate that. I didn't necessarily say the verdict, though. I'm pretty sure you guys could figure it out. But yes, do not jump, please. Thank you for that follow. I'm Galad, and all right, we'll give them a little bit more time to do whatever it is that they need to do. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, guys. You'll hear my thoughts here as well when I go up there. Hopefully that window into my thought process worked for you, and hopefully no one grills me for what I'm about to do too bad. Like I said, I know they're going to be haters anyway, but.
The judge is in the building. The judge is in the building.
All right, I'm going to give my verdict here in a few moments. If someone maybe wants to go, let anyone who may be in the lobby know that we're going to begin soon.
Yeah, I'll go out there, sir.
Perfect.
All right, showtime.
All right, the lobby's clear.
Okay, I'm going to call this court back into session at this time. All right, thank you everyone for a great court case. Both sides, as well as the officers and the gallery, the respect was very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I will say that I did not take my deliberations lightly. There was a lot of evidence to go through and a lot of technicalities to review. I will say that out of this, I am going to bring forward some recommendations to the DOJ to look at perhaps clarifying some of the, working with, first of all, and then clarifying some of the dispensary language in the city. I think this has proven that it's well overdue. But that being said, Mr. Biggz can't be held accountable for things that happened before any clarification is being made. Now, I'm going to begin with some of the easy charges because I think that there are, it's very easy to determine some rulings on the first charges here. So that is going to be the attempted murder of a government employee ×2, the criminal possession of a firearm class 2 ×1, the misdemeanor possession of a controlled dangerous substance oxymeth ×2, and the possession of stolen property in the 3rd degree ×1. Now, through both officer testimony as well as the evidence that has been provided to me, as well as the defendant's own admission about him having an AK-47 when he shot Mr. Glory, I am going to find you, Mr. Biggz, guilty on those charges. Okay, the evidence was fairly straightforward, and the testimony did not seem to be the focus of this case. I think that can be everyone's agreement. Now we are on to drug trafficking, which is most of the crux of this case. Now, I'm going to read for you all the description of drug trafficking in the state of Los Santos. I swear I'm not pausing for dramatic effect. That's just how long the MDW takes. Any person who is found guilty of felony possession with intent to distribute and which meets one or more of the following requirements. 1. The suspect shows a pattern of drug distribution or felony possession of controlled dangerous substances demonstrated through 3 or more provable instances. 2. Proof or evidence that the suspect has manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance. 3. The suspect has sold, transferred, or distributed a controlled dangerous substance to an individual who may be summoned or subpoenaed to appear in court. Now, there are 3 prongs of this that that need to be proven in order to push this drug trafficking charge. Okay. Number 2, proof or evidence that the suspect has manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance. Well, I guess by the defendant's own admission, he did do that. However, at the time, he was licensed to do so. So that, I guess, it did happen. Number 3, the suspect has sold, transferred, or distributed a controlled dangerous substance to an individual who may be summoned or subpoenaed to appear in court. While you could say that the ambush was perhaps him doing this by accomplice, there was no evidence or testimony that showed that the defendant, Mr. Biggz, directly sold, transferred, or distributed this substance to a person who could be summoned or subpoenaed in court. Finally, the first prong, pattern of drug distribution or felony possession of a controlled dangerous substance demonstrated through 3 or more provable instances. In review of Mr. Biggz' record, he only has 1 charge of felony possession with intent to distribute. It is this court's ruling that Mr. Biggz be found not guilty of drug trafficking due to these issues at this time.
Congratulations, Mr. Biggz.
There's no
Your
proof
court's a
that he's a
joke, Your
licensed
Honor.
dispenser, Your Honor. There's no proof that he's a licensed dispenser.
Your Honor, the PD
Your
will be
Honor.
boycotting any DOJ court case from now on. Thank you.
All right, Bass.
They didn't even submit any evidence. What the fuck? Just
Your
'cause you
Honor,
said
there's
that.
no
was a bad judge.
evidence
Go
is
fuck
there that
yourselves.
he's a licensed dispenser.
What's
I
up,
mean, you
Thurl?
were-
Marijuana reform.
That's the main thing.
Go learn how to do your fucking job.
The whole thing for drug trafficking was point 2 that we were hanging on that.
Good comeback.
And
you just don't do
there's
your job
no
correctly.
evidence
That's
that
why you
he's
lost
a
idiots.
licensed
Right.
marijuana dispensary because he's not.
What are you doing
He's
here?
not
Don't you
a
have like
licensed
some
marijuana
crime to
dispenser.
do? Boost the car or something?
Boost?
I-
Not really.
Perhaps more evidence,
we
thorough,
probably
I
should
guess,
at that
but to
too.
me,
probably
neither of
fucking
those
do
3
everything,
prongs
so
were
it's
really well satisfied,
don't
let
think
alone
you'd ever
any
be hired.
specifically. So,
And, but what about the
Business,
marijuana
was
that was
already
found
done,
packed in suspicious packages in that warehouse? The 11 suspicious packages of marijuana that each had 200 grams of packed marijuana in it each.
so again, so first of all, there's no evidence that he wasn't a licensed dispensary. Second of all, he admitted
They
that
have
he
to
was
submit
growing.
that
There's no evidence that he was either, Your Honor. That's
Yeah,
the point I'm
so-
trying to make. But there's
okay.
no proof that he is. That's
And
what I'm
you
saying.
did not pass the burden of proof for me to show that he had grown it for himself.
Thing. I don't have to have. I don't have
he
to argue that he's
packaged
not a
it to sell on the
dispensary. I have to
streets.
argue that he.
I think he packaged the weed that he grew for seeds in his warehouse.
I'm having to step out, Your Honor. I'm barely able to contain my professional at this time. I need to go cool off.
Very well, very well. Feel free to appeal if you. I think Braun might be appealing anyway, so you guys can as well if you so desire.
Brown's a piece of shit too.
Appreciate your services, big man. You're a real one. Still like map that.
Monty.
Your Honor,
What's up?
just to clarify the drug
Mr.
trafficking
Wayne.
law as it stands, you
These are
can't
yours.
push the drug trafficking charge unless they have previously got a conviction of felony possession intent to distribute. Am I correct in that?
I don't want to comment if it's going to be for like another case, but that's how I ruled this one. Is definitely
Yeah.
that it wasn't
No,
meeting
I'm
on
just
this
trying to
one.
understand the precedent for. I mean, there's a lot of drug trafficking cases coming up on the docket. I'm trying to get an idea of the precedent and how. That's how I read it as written. Having clarification does help.
Yeah.
His ass, Connor. Get
Yeah,
up.
that's
Thank you.
yep.
Shut the fuck up, Braun.
Well, there goes anything I may have had with the PD there.
Tidus, let me tell you, this
Good
is
job,
a fair
Mr.
one
Wayne.
because the same shit happened to me when I was on my bail hearing. All
Mhm.
your notifications on your
Is that all
emails
you
on
need from us, Judge?
Yeah, I don't think we need anything else from you, sir. Thank you for coming and helping out. I appreciate that.
I don't know
Yeah.
how that works.
Yep. Anytime.
Appreciate you.
Um,
Okay.
no,
man, my $215,000 fucking dollars that you were gonna fight me for. I want that shit back in my bum.
Glory, can I get you to process Mr. Biggz for the charges that he was found guilty of? If any fines were not issued, I guess you could do that at this time, and then he's free to go.
So much.
I'm gonna give him time served, obviously, for the time he spent in there.
Oh, you want me to process
yep.
him for all the other stuff?
Mr.
Yes,
Judge,
please.
I'd like to appreciate you for your time, big man, and your courteous decision and your professionalism today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Biggz. I respect. It took a little bit to get the respect going in the courtroom, but thank you for doing so, and I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Once your friends left the courtroom and shot the cops, then it all got better.
No, I listen. When
Don't know what you're talking about, big man. No clue what you're talking about. But all I do know is that you police
Alright,
seized
Mr.
a
Biggz.
large amount of my marijuana, and I kind of want it back. I'll see you in court, mother sucker.
You get that back anyway. I don't know how that works.
I want my
Without a court
21,000
case.
grams of marijuana back, or the $215,000 you're about to fine me for that marijuana. I think it's only fair.
All right, so
me and Mr. Braun
all
will
the
be,
other charges are going to be
scheduling the court date.
$10,425.
All right, you weren't billed for those originally, were you, Mr. Biggz? You were just sent in.
I can't remember. Could you check back in your logs, Glory, see if I was fined or not?
You were not processed for the
Okay.
RMDW.
All right, go ahead and process them for those then.
Because you have a license, you know, if you were within the dispensary guidelines, you'd be fine, right?
Okay, actually, Murphy, come over here. I'll tell you something.
All right, Mr. Wayne, I'm going to bill you $10,425. I gotta step back a second. There we go. Alright, there's your bill for the charges you were found guilty of.
Okay, suck your mother. Have a good day. Am I good to go, Mr. Judge?
Yeah, you're good to go, Mr. Biggz. Thank you for going through the process, and sorry it took so long while you were in jail there. I know your attorney has a lot to say about that, but just know that when I got involved, I tried my best to push things along as fast as I could for you. Okay?
Of course, Big Man. Hey, can you just tell me that one more time, please?
What was that?
That he's free to go.
You're free to go. Yeah, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Get a shave, Mr. Biggz. Beard doesn't suit you. Alright, Your Honor. Have
I
a good
kind of
one.
agree. Yeah, thanks, Gloria. I know I probably didn't make any friends with the cops on that one, but
They're really upset. Listen, I'm upset too, but I had zero expectations.